Right, the Pet Shop Boys have been open for business for an incredible 20 years now. Their first hit was West End Girls. That was 2 decades ago, but they're hotter than ever now. They're headlining a string of summer rock festivals, and they're basking in acclaim for their new album, Fundamental. Before we catch up with Chris and Neil, here's a taste of their brand new single, Minimal. Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe are here. Is it a slightly offensive thing when you've been churning out hits and albums and records and stuff like for 20 years, and then you just do another one, basically, it's that one, and people say, oh, that's great. They've found form again, they're back. And you think, no, I was never away. I thought the last album was quite good. Is it sort of a slightly difficult compliment to take when people say that's one of your best ever?
I think it's a flattering thing in a way, because when you've been around for a while, I think people assume that you'll somehow have got rather complacent. Yeah. And from our perspective, we don't think we've ever got complacent with what we've done. Actually, I think every album we ever bring out, they say a return to form. So,
how galling for you.
And I think that's maybe because the reviewer didn't listen to the last one or something. But I know it's meant well, so I take it well.
The album, Fundamental, I mean, you say it's very political.
I wouldn't say it's very political. What we tried to do when we decided to write the album was, we live in a very political period at the moment, I think, when politics impinges on our lives all the time. And also we live in an era of fear, a bit like people did in the 1930s, actually. And we wanted to try and capture aspects of the period we're living through in a series of songs. We've done it through humour. There's a song called I'm With Stupid, which is the last single, which is a kind of a satire about Tony Blair and George Bush.
I'm With Stupid.
I'm With Stupid, yes.
And you've got the boys from Little Britain to do the...
And we've got David and Matt from Little Britain.
acting for that, yeah.
To do that. And then there are more sort of serious songs like Luna Park, which is kind of about the sort of cloud of fear we live in because of, since 9/11. And the final song on the album is really taking the issue of ID cards. And the argument in favour of ID cards is always, if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear. Yeah. And that's how the song starts. If you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear.
But you don't believe that?
And how does it conclude, then?
Well, it's sung from the point of view of an authoritarian government. I think governments generally around the world are becoming more authoritarian. I think they look to China. China has a free market economy with a one-party dictatorial government. Singapore is a very dictatorial but free marketplace, and I think governments in the West look at those governments now with a certain amount of envy. And I think because of 9/11 and July the 7th last year, the tragedy of that, I think more and more we are expected to assume that we'll be under surveillance, that if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear, that they keep saying there's all this ID theft and fraud going on, and which I don't really believe. I don't know anyone who's had their ID stolen. I know people have had credit cards stolen. I don't know anyone who's had their ID stolen, and yet the government is proposing having this ID card system which costs a fortune. And
it's not happening now, actually. I think it's blown away.
Is it? Is it definitely gone?
Not well. I don't know. What do I know?
John
I just know what I read in the papers. John
Reed
Reed stepped back from it. It's looking very shaky now.
So you're on your soapbox, Neil.
I'm on my soapbox, as usual.
And as usual, Chris is sitting there looking
He just sits behind his
I'm very happy to. That's comfy sofa you've got.
Do you have a kind of agreement that he does most of the talking and you sit there looking
It's
cool?
a good job he does talk. Well, she's a very full interview.
Well, come on, no, let's put him on the spot.
No,
what do you think about the one-party state in China?
Oh no, don't ask.
What about the missile test in North Korea, Chris?
What can you do?
You sing a song about it, I guess.
One thing, just while I think about it, completely off at a tangent, we're doing a thing on Superman later in the show today, and didn't you used to work, Neil, for...
I work for Marvel Comics.
You work for Marvel Comics?
Marvel Comics is Spider-Man, and of course their bitter rivals are DC Comics, which is Superman and Batman.
Right.
They've got the good ones. No, actually Spider-Man's pretty good, isn't it?
Actually, it's quite an interesting thing, because what was different about Marvel Comics and Spider-Man is that Spider-Man had a private life. Superman was a superhero, and the idea for Spider-Man that Stan Lee had was that Spider-Man was a superhero, but he had a girlfriend, and he was in trouble with...
Superman. Well, so did...
In a much more idealised kind of way, though. Spider-Man was very, very modern. It was set in New York.
Right.
Superman is set in Gotham City, which is based on New York.
Yeah. So, OK, in a straight fight, Superman, Spider-Man, who do you money be on?
Superman.
Yeah, I think I'd go with Superman every time, David. Pardon?
Spider-Man, Superman. That's correct. Somebody told me also that one of your jobs was to make sure that the sort of more busty, if you like,
Yeah.
female characters in these comic book heroes were
Thought about
toned
this for
down.
years.
Would-
Yeah, well, you
Is
see,
that
in America, you know, comics are monthly and they're in colour. In Britain, this was in the mid-70s, they were weekly, and so you used to cut up the strips so they would last for several weeks. And also our audience was like 8-year-old kids, and there were things like Conan the Barbarian, where you'd have very well-endowed women wearing bikinis and things, and they'd have to cover them up.
So you're saying in America...
And also we changed the
readership-
spellings. We used to change the spellings to anglicise them.
All right, but so in America, the readership was grown-ups, and therefore they
was
could,
much older,
they could
yeah.
take the big busts.
Yeah.
And here, in Britain, it was 8-year-old kids.
Yeah, and so...
What does that say about Britain and America?
Any sexual content had to be taken out.
Was there sexual content?
There were sexual references, yeah.
Well, Spider-Man never...
How disgusting!
Well,
I
didn't
didn't know
he?
that.
Spider-Man had a private life. Superman didn't. Spider-Man had a private life.
I'm thinking of a Jonathan Ross question is approaching, but I think I better not
Yes,
go
let's
there.
not go there. I don't think we will go there.
Are you guys on tour at the moment?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Well, we're playing.
Chris,
Yes, we are.
welcome back
I
to
can
the
answer
party.
this one. Simple. Actually, I don't know what dates we're doing now, but yeah, we're doing a lot of
Chris, what dates
festivals
are you doing?
around Europe. We're off to Germany on
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Well, we just played the Tower of London for 2 nights in
Which was-
obviously
Right.
London.
Yeah.
And
You're in
we're-
Serbia on Monday.
We were at this fantastic festival called the Exit Festival, which started off, to get political again, started off as a festival to get rid of Slobodan Milosevic in Serbia 6 or 7 years ago. And then it's become one of the top festivals in Europe. It's in this old castle above the Danube, and it's a totally amazing thing. Morrissey was there, Franz Ferdinand.
Where was
And,
this
and it was your birthday, and they all sang
And it was
happy
my
birthday
birthday,
to
and
you.
40,000 people sang happy birthday to me.
In Serbian.
No, in English.
Yeah.
For some reason, that seems to be an international song.
They didn't mean it.
It was all show business.
Just to see this bit of you on tour, do you know where this was, or is it so ubiquitous being on tour that could be anywhere in the world? You know?
Yeah, where is that?
I think it's in Copenhagen.
I know where it is, but I'm just asking you to guess.
No, I think it's Copenhagen.
Copenhagen, Chris.
No idea.
Where is it then?
Come on, Chris.
No, where is it then?
He's right, it's
Well,
Copenhagen.
it could be anywhere,
Copenhagen.
couldn't it? Oh, you know, because you probably supplied it.
It's inside. They're normally outside. Actually, it's not the best bit of the show. This really bit's all
Why?
right.
What's wrong with it? It's
Well,
good
actually, the show's interesting. It's designed by a theatre designer called Ez Devlin,
Yeah.
and it's a cube which gradually folds out and becomes this big screen, and then it keeps changing shape. It's,
stuff. That's good.
Sounds
it
great.
is, no, it is good. It looks,
You have to be there, though.
you have to be
It
there.
sounds great. It sounds like it's supposed to be a fantastic show. Paul Morley said so, and if Paul Morley says
If
so...
Paul Morley likes it,
It's
then
good.
you're doing pretty well, actually.
Well, listen, Fundamental is the name of the Pet Shop Boys' new album. As I say, critics and fans alike are saying it's brilliant. You know, so well done on your return
and,
to
the,
form.
and the single's called Minimal.
The single's called Minimal.
Minimal, yeah.
Minimal, yeah. Okay.
And we'll talk to you again, Chris.
Yes, sometime soon.
Next time, stop butting in, all right? Just let him have a word. Okay?
All right then. I'm quite chatty, really.
Always nice to see you there.
And
you,
you
and
too,
you, yeah.
and you as well.